It has been a while. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Vidi. For those of you who are new here, I have not filmed a video in a really long while. I think the last time I filmed a video was in January, and I scratched that idea up. I was going to upload it before this one, but I kept editing it and it was just not coming out how I wanted. And I have not done a sit down, talk with me kind of video in forever, so I feel a little bit rusty sitting in front of the camera. But anyway, straight to the point, insert clip of me showing my puppy now. I got a pup! I got a dog! He's a pitty mixed with red terrier. I don't have my puppy with me out right now because he's sleeping. He's taking a nap in his crate in the room. In the previous video that I was supposed to upload before this, I was going to tell you all that I have some changes coming into my life, and those changes were him. I got an emotional support animal. I have an emotional support letter, and geez, I don't even know. Okay, let's start off with how I went about the process of adopting my puppy. I was doing therapy, I was doing counseling back in 2020 before the pandemic happened, and at that time I was actually recommended to get an emotional support animal. But I was still a student and I did not have a stable income, and I knew having a dog was going to cost me a lot of money and require a lot of my time, and I just did not have any of that to be able to, you know, be a good support system for the dog as well. Fast forward to 3 years later, post-grad, I realized I have the time for a puppy now. I'm going to see if I can request an emotional support letter so I can get a dog, and I did. We're not gonna diagnose myself online. I already have a diagnosis. I don't want to share more about that. But in conclusion, I was approved for an emotional support animal and immediately received an emotional support letter. As soon as I received the letter, I started looking for dogs. I originally wanted a Doberman, but I live in an apartment. I do not have the space for a Doberman, and they're just big. It wouldn't be fair to it. Also, I live with my boyfriend, I live with my partner, and I have to be considerate of his opinions, and he was on board to adopting a dog, but he just did not want a big dog. So we had to compromise, and we decided on a medium-ish sized dog, medium bordering towards small. Okay, he gave me a list of requirements that he needed, and I had my own requirements. And after, you know, saying, okay, no, we can't do a Doberman, I was looking more into getting a Cocker Spaniel because I've always thought those dogs were lovely, and I just really looked into it. But personally for me, I wanted to get a rescue dog or a sheltered dog because A, it is a lot more affordable than buying from a breeder, and B, there's so many dogs that shelters and rescues just don't have the capacity for them anymore. In conclusion, there's just a surplus amount of dogs that are in the shelters and rescues, and I focused my search there instead. So Cocker Spaniel was crossed off the list as well because those dogs are super rare to find in shelters and rescues. I was just kind of browsing through and seeing, first of all, what kind of breeds are in rescues and what is compatible with what I'm looking for, right? If you go to rescues and shelters, you will see that the most repetitive dogs are German Shepherds, Huskies, Husky mixes, not always pure Huskies, Pit Bulls, Doberman actually, but like older ones, Chihuahuas, and some sort of Poodle mixes. Those are the very, very common breeds that you find in shelters. So I was very limited in my search because I cannot get such a big dog because, again, lack of space. I had settled with another type of dog that I've always kind of wanted was a pit bull. So I settled with a pitty mix. The first dog that I fell in love with, I cried. He was gorgeous. His name was Alf. I used to call him Alfie. I never actually saw him in person, but I saw him in a rescue. I forgot what the rescue is called. I think it's Copper Stream or something like that. So it was just checking off all the lists. We were happy. My partner also agreed on the dog. We thought he was super cute, and I just like, oh my god, I am falling in love with him. I was so super excited. So I submitted my application, and I waited and I waited. And do I look like I've been crying? So I didn't get rejected. Oh my god. I'm a hormonal wreck today, so I get a pass, but it still sucks. The news still sucks. I didn't get rejected. My application didn't get rejected to adopt the puppy that I wanted, but of course, it's a very cute puppy, just 2 months old. A lot of people are going to like this puppy. So we had backups from the other litter, but I got an email back from my application so we can continue the process, and apparently there's applicants looking at the rest of the litter this weekend. So they're gonna put us down that we're interested in case someone passes, but I mean, they might all get adopted, so we'll see. Maybe we hear good news or not. So yeah, the dog got adopted, and well, the whole litter got adopted. You know, I was very heartbroken. I just had such illusions and high hopes for this dog because I was just, again, I fell in love with literally just the pictures that it had. They had like a whole folder of like him growing up with his siblings and stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, you know, I can't give up. I already have my letter. I don't want my letter to just go to waste. And so I started searching again, but this time I tried to detach myself from the search and just look again at the mixes that I was trying to find, which at this point was a pitty mix. I wanted something mixed with the pit bull. So I looked and I looked and I just couldn't find anything, and then I came across two dogs. So one of them was a pitty mix / rat terrier, and then the other one was just a pitty mix. It didn't say what it was mixed with. I saw this picture and I just fell in love with this picture again. And I'm just like, nope, don't get your hopes up. I showed it to my partner. He's like, yeah, he seems to check off all of our boxes, but I actually like the brother better. And so I looked at the brother. I'm like, yeah, the brother's cute, but I was still just falling in love with the other picture. I'm just like, oh, but this one's so chunky and he just looks so funny. But again, I was trying to not get too attached. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna apply to this one. I held off on applying to the other dog from the other shelter because I wanted to see what they would say over here. But in this rescue, it's called the County Road Rescue. If I'm looking down, it's because I have my iPad down here. It's called the Country Road Rescue. That's where I got him from. They emailed me back like almost within like 30 minutes. They emailed me back after I had sent in an application, and they told me that the litter was available. Their rescue wasn't like a typical, you know, building rescue kind of situation where you go, it wasn't like a business, it wasn't a house, a ranch. I told them my availability and we agreed to the following weekend to meet the litter. The one we were looking for was called Scrunch. So I had this stated on the application to put down Scrunch, which was the brother. My partner liked that one more, and I'm just like, you know what, that one's also cute. I like both of them. Let's meet them and see what happens. So in my mind, we were gonna go pick up Scrunch, the fully tanned pitty mix. The weekend passes by. I'm so excited to go see them, and we drive a little bit over 2 hours and a half to go meet this dog. My partner tells the story all the time because he was the third point of view, so I didn't really know how it happened, but I'm just gonna retell it the way he says it. As soon as we get to the ranch, we park, and there was like a whole litter, so it was 5, and then 2 other dogs and then 2 big dogs, and there was one other couple looking at the dogs, but they were all outside. They were in a fenced area in the ranch, and as soon as we step into the fenced area, all the dogs come running to me apparently. And I do remember just a bunch of puppies running to me, and it was the cutest thing ever. They were all just so excited, super excited. I'm just like, oh my god, I was so overwhelmed. I wish one of us recorded, but first of all, I didn't know if it was going to be okay to do that. I should have asked. Second of all, I was a little shy, and I was more focused on getting the dog rather than recording for this video. They all come rushing to me, and I just remember being so overwhelmed. And then apparently, I didn't see this happen, but my partner says that one little guy was trying to get into the group, but he kind of got pushed out and did like notice that, hey, there's another human over there. So he went to greet my partner instead, and he just kind of like, he says that he chose him, he chose us basically, and he just kind of waggled his way over there. And I spot Scrunch, the original dog we were there for, and he's this cute little pitty red terrier. He has this stumped little tail, and he's adorable, but he just would not like, I could not, you know, be with him. He was just too focused on running around. He probably had the sumis at the moment. He was so excited, probably very overwhelmed, but he was just running around, and I just couldn't, you know, be with him, bond with him, I guess you could say. But then this other little kiddo at the time called Frito just was all cuddly up on us, and he just so cute. And the first moment I just picked him up and held him, he hiccuped. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's so cute. I was just taken away by this dog. He was the cutest little thing. There was a point where we were just like, can we just take both of them? But we're like, no. First of all, we probably don't have the space to raise two dogs. And second of all, this is our first pup. We don't know how it's gonna go. I'm glad we didn't take both of them, because I think it would have been very overwhelming. But once it came down to choosing, they asked us, so like, who's it gonna be? And my heart was just screaming Frito. I loved how much attention he gave us, and we just seemed to connect. And then my partner and him had a cute little moment of their own, so they were just very attached at that point. We said, okay, we're gonna do Frito. We went there with the idea of we're just gonna meet them, and then we're probably gonna have to come back another day to actually pick them up. No, it's like, okay, cool, we can sign the forms now, and you can take him home today. And I'm just like, today? In retrospect, I think we probably could have asked if we could just come back for him. Like, we could have still signed the forms and everything, but the way other rescues worked is you met the litter first and then decided if it worked out or not, and then you would come back to take them home if you decided it would work out. But in this rescue, it didn't work like that. Originally, I had told my partner, I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if they ask if we take him home today, do you want to take him home today? And we're like, yeah, let's do it. That way we don't have to make a second trip to come and get him. We really didn't think that we were gonna take him home today. I had nothing at home, because like, to order a leash or to order a collar, I needed the size of the dog. I didn't know how big the dog was gonna be. I could have gotten a small, but what if it needed an extra small because it was tinier than I expected it to be? We didn't have anything at all. We weren't ready to take him home, but we just weren't thinking either. We were just so enamored by this little creature. My partner would not let him go. They were just clicking together. But we're like, okay, let's take him home today. We signed the forms. Yeah, we paid for him, and we took him home. And we had a terrified dog on my lap on the way home, because I felt so bad. I literally took him home from the only family he's ever known, and he just cried, but at the same time found comfort in me, but just cried. He was just so sad, and my heart broke the whole way home. We ended up going to PetSmart before getting back home. I never put him down. I just held him, or my partner actually held him. We got him a collar. We got him the basics, and then we went home. And we brought him home. He was a little bit shy at first, but he was very excited to be home. And yeah, that's how we ended up with our dog. Now, I haven't mentioned the name, but we didn't keep the shelter's name, which was Freedom. We struggled so much to figure out what his name would be that even on the ride home we had not agreed on a name yet, until we passed by. We were going on the freeway, and on one of the signs it said Charro Street, and he said it, and I'm like, wait, I actually kind of like that. So charro, actually in Spanish, the way we've been explaining it to people who don't know what it is, it's basically kind of like a Mexican cowboy. Free fall, it's called free fall. Kind of the devil and the devil say, hey. Or if you think about it like this as well, the charro suit are what mariachis use when they're performing. But a charro is a charro de Jalisco, so it's a Mexican cowboy of Jalisco. That's how we've been trying to explain it. Okay, so I talked about how I adopted my puppy, so I just wanted to like talk about really quick having the puppy, and then some stuff that comes with like raising a puppy. Puppies are adorable, but they are a lot of work. The first night that we had him home, he cried a lot throughout the night, but he slept in his own bed. He didn't cry because he wanted to be in our bed, but he cried because the environment was just new to him. But he has always slept in his own bed. Eventually, I got this playpen that you see in the background that I'm actually just used as kind of a way to divide the living room up, because I originally thought, you know what, he's actually very well like trained to sleep in his own bed, and he's been doing really good at his potty training, so I don't think I'm gonna crate train him. So I got him a playpen instead. That way, if there's times where I need to leave him alone for a bit, I can just put him in his playpen. He hated the playpen. It was just such a struggle. He would cry so much. He just did not like the playpen. That might have been our fault for giving him access to the whole house from the very start, but he did not like the playpen. And eventually we got him a crate, just because we needed to be able to put him in a space that was just his, that he would be happy with. And also, I did not want to have to keep waking up every single night because I thought he needed to pee. Because that's the thing, from the very moment that we got him, aside from the fact that he would wake up at night, it wasn't because he needed to pee, it was just because he was crying. Eventually would sleep throughout the whole night and pee in the mornings. Like that, I don't know, he was probably already trained to do that by the time we got him. I was just so tired the first week we got him. So with the lack of sleep and everything, we decided to get him a crate, so then he wouldn't just wander around at night while we were sleeping. We got him a crate. He was very happy in his crate. He actually didn't mind it sleeping there, and that was the first time I was able to sleep throughout the whole night, because again, he doesn't pee at night. He pees in the morning. 7 in the morning, he's up there trying to wake us up so he can go pee. That first week was difficult because yeah, we didn't have a crate. Eventually we got a crate, but then at the same time it was difficult because there was just a lot of things from having a puppy that we didn't really expect, and not because we weren't necessarily prepared for it, but because, like, for example, one of the things that I got that I didn't know it was something until I like joined a Reddit community, and like it might sound so kind of dramatic because I mean it's a dog, it's not like it's a baby, but also it's its own responsibility on its own, is something called puppy blues, which is kind of like a regret but at the same time not, of just getting a dog. And for me, my puppy blues hit me as in I didn't regret getting him, I just felt like I was not enough for him. Like I was not being with him enough, I was not training him enough. It hurt me to leave him alone. I was very overwhelmed a lot of the times. I would cry. I would literally cry and have anxiety. My dog gave me more anxiety. And it was just really hard at the beginning, especially because like I was trying really hard to get him to like do certain things and train him. It was just a really big change for my partner and I. It was something that we both had to adjust to, and it came up with a lot of change. Eventually, I feel like after 2-3 weeks, we kind of started to get into a routine. And I feel like that's what really helped when it came to having a puppy, is that we had a set routine. It wasn't until we were able to set a routine for him that we realized, okay, he really needs to sleep at this time. If not, he's going to be constantly biting. He's going to have the zoomies. He's going to be upset. One of the things he would do a lot is he wouldn't eat his puppy pads, but when he had the zoomies, he would go and like run around with his puppy pads. So we had to get a puppy pad holder. So it was just stuff like that where we would have to adjust and find solutions to it to help him kind of like learn, basically. We had to teach him what he could do and what he can't do. I feel like taking him on walks and socializing him with other dogs really helped calm him down a lot more. I'm telling you, my dog is one of the most calm dogs in public. In public is the keyword here, because in private with just us two, he runs around a lot, but he's a very calm dog for a puppy. I really appreciate that about him. He's really good with humans. He's really good with kids as well. Still keep him on a tight leash when he's around kids, because I don't want him biting, because he does bite. He does bite, not because he's being a reactive dog or an aggressive dog, but because he's teething. So he does bite, but he doesn't bite other people. He just bites me and my partner. So we've just been addressing that, making sure we redirect his biting, have some edible chews for him that are age appropriate and stuff like that. It's been helping, but right now he has his like big canines coming in and he's been a little bit more chewy than usual. So I have a bunch of scratches around my hands. It's something we're working on. He's a really good boy. I love him to bits. So yeah, if I don't post as often, it's because I have a little child to take care of now. A lot of my free time goes to him now because he needs more attention. It's been 2 months since we've had him, and it's so much better now than it was at the beginning. And he is 4 months old. But yeah, if I don't upload for a while, he's literally the reason why I don't. He takes up a lot of my free time, so I have to really prioritize when I do have free time what's important to me and what I want to do. And a lot of the times that's just taking care of myself. I started an Instagram for him. I'm doing reels for him. That's fun. I did have an Instagram for him if you want to follow him. The Instagram is mostly so I can have a little like time capsule of him growing throughout the years, because he went from this tiny little thing to this very long thing. I want to get a DNA test for him because he kind of reminds me of a dachshund because of his body. So it'd be very interesting to see if he's mixed with something else. We don't know how big he's gonna get at this age. It's said that he's going to be twice his size. We don't know if he's gonna get longer, if he's gonna get taller. I estimate he might be around like knee height at most, but I really don't think he's gonna get that big. He's bigger than his dad now. But anyway, that's it. I gotta go wake him up now. So thank y'all so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, and I will see y'all next time. Say bye.